recording.
What up?
Do we have more light? Oh, much
Shout
better.
out to Mona Simone. We in this motherfucking bitch. My hand is bleeding. I broke something, but it wasn't the vodka.
No, don't do that. Don't.
Okay.
Just say.
I got it.
Yeah, cool, crazy. You know, do you? All right.
Sure. What's going on, world? And mostly from A Connection TV, the network, the one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections to spot our differences. And the similar connection that I want to adopt with you is for the interest value of Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8. And this episode is entitled Bienvenido a la Miami, or I Miami. Ay, pai chicos. Are you watching? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But Bravo played us. Bravo played us this particular episode because we all thought this was going to be the Battle Royale episode, but it was not. It was the lead up to the Battle Royale episode, and yeah, we got a taste of what Glenn is like, but when he first came up to the scene, I'm like, why is he even in the mix? I'm like, he looks a little bit upset. He looks perturbed. He looks angry. He's in them camps and he wants to be on the team upset. But whatever, he's cute. And Kenya was lashing on like the tigress she is not, right? Anyways, let me grab my notes real quick. So we started off this particular episode with Kenya inviting Candy and Sheree to Moore Manor. And I love, no I don't, well I'm not going to say I love, but it's always interesting and entertaining somewhat, depending on how shady she is on the negative side or versus the positive side. But it's always nice to see Kenya Moore try to read someone, especially when it's someone that can read back, because Kenya Moore was giving off that slight about Sheree, and it taking her 4 years to get one little side of the house done. And only in 2 months you can see progress in hers. And I was like, ooh, this girl. I think Kenya Moore bought this house just to win against Sheree, just to beat Sheree. I think Kenya Moore got that house. I don't think she got it really because she wanted a new home and she wanted something to call her own. No, she purposely got it right next to Sheree's so her shit can be built right like in an instant. And more Kenya's house gonna be built and Sheree's still gonna. You still gonna have Funky Dineva coming to Sheree's house, filming on the street talking about Chateau Sheree ain't. Oh man, that's hilarious. Kenya Moore is a mess. She is messy boots. I was shocked that Kenya and Portia were actually planning the trip together. It shows growth and it shows them trying to carry on this fucking show, because we already know these girls don't like each other. But when does it get to the point to where we're doing this just to let the length of the show keep going? You know, like when does it become all fake? Now I've heard some things that majority of the storylines on certain reality shows are all fake, and I'm not gonna out the reality show that I'm talking about, but I do review the reality show. But it's been confirmed that 95% is fake, and so now I'm gonna be looking at that. I'm going to be looking at it differently now, because I'm like, I want to tell y'all so bad. I want to tell y'all so bad, but I can't, because I can't. But anyways, so now I look at this house, this Real Housewives of Atlanta show, as like, okay, what's real and what's not? Because one moment they're fighting, then the next moment they're cool, then the next moment they're taking Snapchats and Instagram pics together, then the next moment they're fighting, then the next, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, in all of their post confessionals, they give the shade, but I think these shows have gotten to be so much like a sitcom that everything is completely planned out. But I know one show is completely planned. But anyways, we're going to keep reviewing that show anyway, and y'all going to keep loving that show anyway. But I'm not going to mention any names. Tammy seems to be coming on this trip. Everybody seems to be going on this trip to Miami. And you know, Candy is being told by Kenya that her and Portia are deciding to, you know, have this trip come together. And, you know, everybody's kumbaya. And, you know, Phaedra, Portia, and what's her name? Shamea are all in agreement that this trip needs to happen. And Bienvenido, Miami, and all this extra shit. And I'm like, okay, what's gonna go down? What's happening? We've already seen the upcoming clips, but what's leading to this point, right? And so Kim is, you know, backing her stuff up, and you know, she has a little Claire badge and everything. And her son, who looks like he's 13, is asking her if she's bringing the books so that she can read the books to him via Skype. And I'm like, how old is this child? Okay, I mean, I guess. All the girls get to the airport, okay, and they're all going, even Candy with her preggers behind. And, you know, they all get on the plane or whatever, and, you know, you see the Candy cam, and all the girls are having their candid moments. And all the while, on the plane, Portia is worried about putting on her lipstick. And I'm like, okay. Well, I do know some individuals that feel that they have to look good no matter what, even if they're on a plane. They're always photo shoot ready, but I don't know, it's kind of like, really? If I get on a goddamn plane, I have on some sweats, a t-shirt, maybe a sweater because sometimes it gets cold, and I washed my face and I brushed my teeth. And I have on, like, I try to wear slippers, but it don't be working out like that sometimes. But I'm not about to be, like, I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks for Christmas, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to dress getting off this motherfucking plane? But then I'm going to see someone that likes when I dress up and always wants me to be here instead of being comfortable here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're going to get when I get off this motherfucking plane. Besides, it's cold in motherfucking Vegas, so I'm like, eh. So when they finally land in Miami, they finally get there. And they're getting on the boat, not the boat, the bus, the charter bus, whatever you want to call it, to get them to, you know, the house that they rented out, which, by the way, was motherfucking magnificent. Oh, they rented out the house, and so, you know, they start talking about rooms and who's gonna get the best room. And so Kim chimes in. I like Kim chiming in. We're going to call her Kim Chimes instead of Kim Fields. I like Kim Chimes because she chimes in and she reads. And I don't even know if she purposely, like, if she knows that she's reading, but she reads. And she was like, well, why don't we just do it to who's the most famous? I was like, oh. Kim Chimes done gooped the doll. That's what, the Kim Chimes is gooping. Oh, okay. And so, you know, all the girls are laughing, kiki and all that. And then, you know, Kenya's like, well, why don't we give Candy the master because she's preggers? And Kim's like, I guess we can do that. I mean, why do we have to? But whatever, I guess. So, Shamea ends up being already at the house. Apparently, Portia sent her to make sure that the house was together. And I'm like, okay, all right, people just getting sent. Does any of these females have jobs? Well, we know with the cast, but like these supporting people, do they have jobs? Do they have jobs? That's what I'm wondering. Like, what do they do? But anyway, Shamea comes out in this two-piece, and I'm like, is she meeting men? Are men coming to the front entrance? No, she's meeting the ladies. And I'm like, why doesn't she have on any clothes? I mean, her body is amazing. She has an amazing body, but why does she have on a two-piece bikini meeting 7 other chicks? It was just confusing to me. But I guess she, you know, she was feeling herself, probably threw a couple drinks back and was like, and it was sunny at this time. I don't know what was going on. But I'm not gonna, I don't know. Even if I wouldn't walk up, you know, in some shorts and my shirt off, you know, greeting the people coming to the house, at least have some kind of clothes on. I was confused about that. Miss Kim Chimes. Kim Chimes picking the damn living room as her room was funny as hell, because I'm thinking to myself, out of this big ass house, and you gonna pick a living room where there's no door, and I'm like, what the hell? And in her mind, there's 2 living rooms, there's enough space, she has her own bathroom, and it's right near the water. She's good where she is. She has ample space on the couch. I'm like, okay, this is how you know Kim is grounded. And You know, Kim has had money. She probably still has money, but she's grounded, she's rooted, and she's humble. She does not need the magnificent things that, you know, this house has to offer. She's ready to settle for the motherfucking living room. I thought that was too cute. I thought it was even cuter how Tammy was like, oh, don't be scared when I come in here at night. And Miss Kim Chimes had to let her know, don't be scared of my reaction if you come up in here unannounced. And, you know, I'm liking Kim and the way that she chimes in. Kenya has a little interesting, shady, messy conversation with Sheree. And, you know, Kenya is letting Sheree know that Tammy doesn't really care for you. That Tammy said that you only went out with Bob because he was on the football team. That Tammy said. And I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. Kenya, this is when Kenya fucks up. Now, mind you, it's not like she's necessarily doing a bad thing, but my thing is you don't really give two fucks about Sheree. You're only trying to be messy. You're not trying to mend broken bridges or make everything, you know, amicable or try to get these girls to get along. You're trying to be messy. Because if she was trying to be nice about the situation, she would have gotten Tammy into the room with Sheree and said, okay, girls, I wanted us all to come on this trip to get along. Now, y'all need to figure what y'all got going on because you're talking about her behind her back and she doesn't know anything about it. So, yes, that would have been Boss Lady Kenya Moore. But no, she was Assistant Lady Kenya Moore by trying to start riffs and waves. You know, and I was just not here for it. And then I had the best fucking laugh that I've ever had watching this motherfucking shit. I've had a couple laughs watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, but this laugh, when Phaedra said that Tammy gave me Thor with those two braids and all the blonde, oh my fucking God. Because Thor doesn't have braids. So it's like, Phaedra had me all the way dying. It was hilarious. But I love Phaedra's reads. Her reads are always the best. And so, you know, we get past this whole situation. And all the girls are talking about Tammy except for Cynthia. Cynthia, obviously that's her friend. Cynthia likes her quirkiness. Cynthia likes her, you know, humbleness and all of that. And so I'm like, okay, when are we going to get to the nitty gritty about this whole Tammy situation and Sheree situation? Well, we get to the nitty gritty at the motherfucking table, the dinner table, okay? Sheree, you know, she comes out of the woodworks and she says, well, I didn't know you and I had a problem. If we want to talk, let's talk. What's going on? Before all of that, though, Kenya was asking Cynthia about Peter and all this shit at the table. And I'm like, what the hell? Kim talking about she don't know if she's going to make it to day 3 because she missed her husband. And I'm like, girl, you shouldn't have came, girl. When the boys said, can you bring the book so you can read them over Skype? You shouldn't have left. I knew then and there you shouldn't have left. I mean, a break is good for everyone. But if you've never had a break, yeah, this is going to be a complete culture shock for you. But then, you know, Kenya going to fucking chime in about goddamn it, Peter and Cynthia's problems and wants to talk about it at the motherfucking table. So that only brings Sheree up to speed on even talking about this whole Tammy and Bob situation. We don't even give a fuck about Bob. Bob was like 4 years ago when you were on the show. 4 or 5 years ago when you were on the... Why are we talking about Bob? Why? Because Tammy is here? The girl with 2 braids that reminds everyone of Thor or reminds Phaedra of Thor. Why are we even discussing Bob? And then, Sheree, you, of all people, should know better. You are a veteran at this messy shit. So, Kenya talking to you and explaining to you about all this shit, you should have known what it was about and what it was for so that we could... But then again, she's playing all into it. She's just reading the cue cards. That's what I'm thinking. She's reading the cue cards. But, I mean, you know, whatever. We need a show to watch, right? And so Tammy's like, are you serious? What are you talking about? I've never slept with Bob. I don't know. Well, he told me that y'all slept. I'm like, Lord Jesus. And then Kim's like, what are we? Are we grown women? Why are we sitting here acting like this? What is this? What kind of shit do y'all have me wrapped up in? I'm not really feeling it. You know, Kenya got her head down. She's like, oh, well, you know. you know. And then Kim hit us with the lines of all lines. Second to, you know, the two braids that look like Thor. She says, what is the difference between instigation and information? You know, what's the difference? Who's trying to, you know, I couldn't remember how she said it, but it was hot to me how she said it. And Phaedra was like, oh shit, okay, Dr. Phil. And then Kenya was like, well, wait, are you addressing me? Kim should have said, yes, I am. Kim should have just let Kenya know. Kim should have said, yes, I am. Is there a problem? Yes, yes. Yes, come through, Kim. Come through, Kim. Oh my God, that would have been so hot. That would have been so hot if she would have did that. Everybody, I'm telling you, the ratings would have went through the roof. If Kim would have said, yes, I am. Is there a problem? I'm trying to understand why you, as a grown woman, are sitting here trying to get these girls to fight at the motherfucking dinner table. If you were such a guru and a believer of harmony amongst the vaginas, then you would have brought these two ladies and pulled them to the side and said, let's have this hashed out because y'all not going to be doing this on my motherfucking trip if this is supposed to be about Cynthia and her long lost attraction for her old ass husband. You know, but that I'm telling you, if Kim would have did that, if Kim would have did that. But you know, Kenya kind of gets Kim together. And Kim's like, no, I'm addressing everybody. And I'm like, girl, no, you address her. Please address her. Please address her because Nene is not here. So nobody's going to address her. I don't know, maybe Portia, but then her and Portia get along now because I think that's in the script. So address her. Can we address her, please? Kim is like the only one. Kim and Candy are like the only ones that aren't tainted by, you know, the cue cards. But whatever. I digress. We move past that. They, you know, Kim is annoyed with the whole situation. All the girls get home. They go to sleep. They wake up. And then in the morning, they have on these crazy ass outfits. You know, Phaedra, Sheree was looking the way Phaedra did last time they went out with the little black net, open net thing. And then Portia and Phaedra come out with the same outfit, just different colors. Kind of with the same outfit, but different colors. Man, I didn't know Phaedra, her ass is crazy. And I always hear her talk about the donkey booty, but when she went like this on the ass cheeks, and I was like, wow, okay, Phaedra. So, but it was confusing to me because we sped past this point where they had on certain outfits. Then we get to the next point where I'm watching Workout New York. But we get to the next point where they have all on totally different outfits. They're on the yacht. They're having a good time. What's her face? Kim starts crying because she misses her husband. She misses her kids. Phaedra gives her good ass motherfucking advice and really coaches her back into coming out of the tears, which was amazing to me because Phaedra has her own bullshit with her husband. But I think at this point she's like completely over it. And I don't think Phaedra has ever been the person that's like can't live or be without her husband. So, you know, she's looking at it differently than Kim is. And I'm appreciating the fact that Phaedra is really coaching Kim. All the girls are meeting Latino men and having a good time and they talking and eating and everything. And then, you know, Phaedra and Kim come back to the table. Kim gets a little upset because they didn't have chairs because all of the men's that they invited to the table took over all the chairs. And then out of nowhere, Glenn appears with Tammy. Glenn and Ralph, I think that's what their names. Jerron. Glenn and Jerron. I had to look at it real quick. Look at my notes. Glenn looked like one old bad boy. Yes, he do. Look like one old bad boy that been through a lot of shit. And mind you, he just in camp, but it looked like he been through more than camp. I'm just saying, it looked like he been through a whole hell of a lot more than camp. And Kenya is over here trying to get her vagina dusted off by Glenn's penis because he's like, she like, where you from? Oh, I'm from Atlanta. Oh, really? Come on, sit down. But then when we get on that yacht, Glenn gets her together. Now, Glenn looks like he'll punch a bitch in the throat. Glenn looks like he'll have a couple articles up on him. Hey, he come messing with some female. Because Kenya's like, hey, boy, what's your name again? And I was like, wait a minute, huh? Who you snapping at? I said that, but that's the sass in me. But Glenn like, yo, calm that down, shorty. I'm like, oh shit, he about to pull out the Glock. He about to pull out the Glock, go bucket up on this yacht. Now, if Peter was here, Peter would have been able to keep Glenn in check because, Peter don't... Peter don't play that. Peter don't play that. But ain't no other male here except for Jerron. And I'm like, okay, Jerron is being quiet, too quiet. But, Glenn is up here talking about, oh, you need to address me differently. That's what you need to do. You need to address me differently. And I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. And then the shit fucking goes off. I'm like, the hell, they really played us. They really did. They played us. I'm like, okay, I see how y'all. All right, it's okay. I don't know. What did y'all think about this particular episode of Real Housewives of motherfucking Atlanta? Lord knows I need to get my ass to Atlanta so fast. I'm telling y'all, I'm trying. And every month that I try, something happens. Every month. Every month. Every month that I try to do something happens. Try to put a little money in the bank, something happens. Try to do this, something happens. I don't know when the fuck I'm going to get to Atlanta, but I'm trying, y'all. I need y'all to do me a solid and go to talkingdead.com. Yes, the contest is still going on. Yes, they still have my black ass up there, and I'm the only black ass up there, but go to talkingdead.com. The link will be below, and vote green arrow up for me and the red arrow down for everybody else, especially that last motherfucker, Greg. Vote his ass down, okay? I'm trying to get on this show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Deuces.
Before we started, just introducing extra things.
Okay. So this is completely like your site. Like it's not ran through a third party.
No.
This is your site launched by you.
It's launched by me, created by me.
And you have actual
Break lights in the